I got to be representing this. Doesn't say Gibson.
Oh, yeah. I've got a t-shirt that has that on it. Yeah.
It says Gibbons.
Yeah, it does.
You don't play in the big pool without the toys.
You ready for ZZ Top?
It's time for a beer, rum, and rock shot.
Oh, this is gonna be so good.
This time, Andy Cass and I are celebrating the 50th anniversary of ZZ Top's fourth studio album, Fandango. Released on April 18th, 1975, it went gold in the US, selling over 500,000 copies, and peaked at number 10 on the Billboard Top 200 chart. The album was produced by Bill Ham, who also produced the band's 3 previous albums and would go on to produce their next 8. The band consisted of Dusty Hill, bass and vocals, Billy Gibbons, guitar and vocals, and Frank Beard, drums and percussion. All right, first things first, I'd like to welcome another member of the Calgary crew to the show. It's Andy Cass, people. Welcome to the podcast, man. Woo!
Thanks for having me.
Hey, you're welcome. It's a pleasure. So I should just point out that you and I met through another member of the Calgary crew, Danny B. You guys play in a cover band in Calgary called Static.
Yeah, I've been playing a number of years together.
And man, you are the perfect guy to talk about ZZ Top with. If your background and your beard aren't enough, you play Billy Gibbons in the ZZ Top tribute band called, you guessed it, Tres Hombres. Yeah. Yes, the beard is real, kids. So how long have you been doing that tribute, man? Give me a little background on that before we dive into this album.
The lineage is I was starting a country band with my good friend Berkeley Shea, who plays Dusty. And our esteemed drummer, Harvey Warren, had texted us a joke. Hey, you guys should start up a ZZ Top band. Ha ha ha.
Were you rocking the beards at that point?
The beard started when we went to Ireland for 3 weeks, and I came back and I was in full fluff. And I said, well, might as well just let it go. And then it just stayed. And like one thing happens, one after another, and here I am, right? We're about 3.5 years now because there was a lot of sort of studying and breaks. And when we first got together, we had picked a set list of 12 songs, and I couldn't keep them straight. Holy smokes. To play a pentatonic scale, 5 notes, and to do so much wizardry that Mr. Gibbons does, it was shocking until I started digging in, and every single album, there's a new treasure that I discover. It's headphone rock every day.
Well, you guys, you fucking kill it. It's awesome.
The mantra was to keep it as pure as possible and as like the album as possible.
All right, Andy, let's talk about the top, specifically the Fandango album. Now, before we dive into the music, I want to talk about when you first heard this album and the impact it had on you. Like, do you remember this album specifically coming on your radar or what?
I do, because Tush was one of the ones that popped out. And then I remember going through the tubs at one of the used record places and taking it home and, realizing that one half was live and one half was studio. And I'm the purist looking for that, like it sounded just like it was if I'm sitting in the room with the guys. All the warts, all the bumps and knocks and noises. And when you listen to this from the beginning, there's like a minute of crowd noise.
Yes.
Nowadays, people wouldn't put up for that.
Right.
The feedback of the guitar and them sort of clicking around, getting ready.
I'm kind of torn with that, actually. Like, I would have preferred a full live album and maybe holding those tracks over to a studio album. Like, I would have preferred a show, not just, 3 songs.
And what's interesting is they remixed it because they thought it was too dry. And I remember hearing the new version and just like, something's wrong. And you go back and hear the original version, you're like, well, now it sounds like guitars, bass, and drums. But when it first came out, when I first got my hands on it, it had been out obviously for years and years because it was recorded when I was 6 on my birthday.
Oh, there you go.
April 12th, 1974.
Right on.
I remember just being first confused, and then I enjoyed the fact that half of it was live and half of it was studio. So you could flip it because you're not listening to a CD, it's just that half of an album. So it shows, what you felt like listening to that day.
I mean, I think that was a first. I don't know anybody else who did that. It was kind of a unique approach.
I was reading a few of the fan sites, and it was because they were recording at the warehouse venue that was created by, and I don't know what the gentleman's name was, but he was a part of a company called Beaver Productions. And here's an interesting tidbit that I read from Frank Beard, the man with no beard.
Ironically.
He told the story that the band bought the owner of Beaver Productions, the owner of the warehouse, a three-legged beaver. And the guys let it roam around the place, and the beaver ate the stage, so that's when it closed down.
What?
So whether it's true or not, it's a great story.
Hey, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. Yeah, I'm going with that. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, man, once again, this is a familiar story for me. I'm the oldest in my family, but I have older cousins, right? So I'm at the older cousin's house, and I'm really young, just a kid. And I remember thinking, hey, that's a cool album cover. Like, it kind of caught my eye, right? But they didn't have the full beards then. They were just kind of getting started. But they had those rockin', I'll write on my t-shirt, the kind of the Porter Wagner kind of glitter country kind of outfits, right?
Right.
I'm like, hey, that looks kind of cool. But man, I was way, way too deep into Kiss to go any further than that. Yeah, I didn't get into ZZ till 81, 82. Like, El Loco was the new one. That's when I got in because I heard Tube Snake Boogie. So I pick up that one. And then I bought that Best of ZZ Top, which had some of the older tracks on it. I don't know if you remember that album.
Yeah, I think that has that Tush original mix on it.
It does, yeah. And then after that, I'm hooked, and I bought all the albums up to that point, including Fandango, and that was it, man. I love this band. Okay, man, before we get to the music, we'll get there. I got some fun facts, some Fandango fun facts for you.
Let's hear it.
So Fandango is a type of dance. I didn't know that. Similar to the flamenco.
Yep.
Hey, I didn't know that. And you touched on this, but in the 80s, they digitally remixed it, like you said. And people lost their shit, because especially the drums. The drums changed a lot. And hardcore fans went ballistic. It's like, what are you doing to this fucking work of art?
It's kind of sacrilege.
It totally was, right? So all those early CDs were the remix until fucking 2006. Like 20 years it took to fix that fuck up.
Yep.
Like, it took a long time. Because Terry Manning's mix came back in 2006 and they put some extra tracks on it, one of those expanded deals. Okay, man, let's dive in. There's 9 tracks in total, 3 live, recorded in New Orleans, and 6 studio tracks clocking in at 33. Okay, let's go through the tracks, talk about our favorites as we go. Cool?
Let's do it.
Okay, man, track number 1, have you heard? What's the word? It's Thunderbird. So Thunderbird's number 1. My fun fact on this, it was originally written and performed by a 50s band called the Nightcaps, but they never applied for copyright on the song. So ZZ was playing the song as early as 74, I guess. And the Nightcaps tried to sue him. But ZZ Top's like, no. They registered the copyright in 75. So snooze, you lose on that one, right?
Interesting about that, though, it even goes back further because it's plagiarized from Dossie Terry in 1957. Even further, it's Get High Everybody by Melvin Little Jackson. That's where it all sort of starts up. But there's the middle section, right, where he's playing that diminished chord and he's just popping through it. That doesn't occur anywhere else. So they took the idea, but they actually ran with the ball. You know, it's like listening to some of those older tunes. If you like that old music, it's great, but I'd rather listen to ZZ.
Right, they ZZ'd the hell out of it. Yeah, it's funny, if you trace it back far enough, there's an old blues guy involved at some point, right?
Yeah, that didn't get paid, right?
That didn't get paid. Exactly, yeah. Oh, man. I just love him at this pace. Like the high energy blues, it fucking rips. I love it. You?
You know, that's the first tune that I learned for this project. It was fun to play out of them all, other than LaGrange, of course.
Of course. Yeah, it really captures the band's live energy, man. It's a great way to start the gig. I mean, if that's your opening track, fucking off you go, right?
All you kids from Texas, they go so big and tall. All them kids from Texas, they go so big and tall. All that like to roam in that cheated on. Get high, really make me feel so fine. Really goes down so smooth, really puts in the groove. Have you heard? What's the word? It's Thunderbird.
to talk about that rhythm section of Dusty and Frank, man. It's so solid. What I love about them is they leave a ton of space for Billy to do his thing and just rip it up. And he does on this entire fucking album. I mean, his solo is killer, as always.
You know, you'd see the background with Frank, and he's always just looking down with his tab, can of tab. He's just holding it down. And it wasn't until I got into this band that we really started to isolate tracks and isolate parts and really understand what he's doing in the background. And that shuffle, some of that movement is so subtle. And then having Dusty play with that, it's a slow burn underneath that allows Billy all this space up top just to command whatever he wants to do.
Exactly.
And he could control the dynamics in some of the live things later on in this album, in the live tracks when he does the medley. I was listening to it going, is this rehearsed? Like, they have breaks all over the place. And I just think, that's a fucking nightmare. If you had to study that and do that. So how's he calling it out?
Yeah.
I'd be missing cues everywhere.
Yeah, there's some serious skill going on. I also love Billy's voice, and I love the way Dusty really compliments him on those backgrounds. Like, they really mesh well together.
You know what I'm digging about Billy's vocals is he's such a chameleon. Even on this album, every song he's singing with a different voice. It makes it interesting when you're performing them because you have to turn yourself into a different character. Some he's got that really cigar whiskey breath voice. Other he's almost singing like it's just a natural operatic voice. And then jumping in and getting those harmonies rocking. What's so great about, like I was saying earlier, is it's live off the floor. Even Billy said, this is just an album that is recorded, warts and all. I mean, that's what endears it to me, because it's not all retouched and then go back and go, we had to re-edit all the guitars. No, they just left it.
How cool is that, hey? Yeah, because so many live albums aren't really live, so that's fantastic. It's a strong opening track, man. If I was picking my top 3 on the album, it would be my number 3. That's where I'm at with this one.
It's way more fun to play.
I bet. Okay, man, let's move on to track number 2, Jailhouse Rock. So this is obviously a cover written by Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller. And of course, they wrote a shit ton of songs for Elvis and a bunch of artists in the 50s. That's who they are. It's a pretty rockin' cover. I mean, I like the way they changed the groove to suit them, and I dig it, man. I mean, they've got their own songs I'd rather hear, but I think they fucking rock this one.
Well, if I got to listen to Jailhouse Rock, these guys killed this version.
Right.
What I noticed instantly is the clacking of Dusty on his bass, where the strings are hitting the pickup because he's just giving her so hard, and once you notice the clack, 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 to me, that just makes it live.
Absolutely, man. Speaking of Dusty, his vocal is great. I love his voice almost as much as Billy's, man. It's a different tone completely from Billy, but it's still really cool.
Stellar. It sort of adds a great compliment to what Billy does, because Billy can then go into that growl and that low, kind of earthy, breathy sound. And Dusty sings with a lot of power all the time.
Does he ever? He tends to sing the rockin' ones,
Yeah.
like the real fucking full tilt ones. And this one's super short. I mean, it's under 2 minutes. I kind of wish they would have stretched it out somehow. Maybe a second guitar solo from Billy, or, repeat a verse. It's fucking in and out.
Or the minute of live audience sound at the beginning.
More crowd noise. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it rocks, man. I don't have anything else to add. You?
Well, I like the riff that they put into it rather than, just keeping it that 50s sort of bebop style.
Right.
They put the real blues heavy rock to it.
Body mother sitting on a block of stone. Little Joey blowing on a slide trombone. Mama silly Willie, don't you be no square. Yeah, I wanna use a wooden chair. Everybody let's out. Everybody in the wholesale block. That's the Jailhouse rocking.
Okay, track number 3, it's the Backdoor medley. Any way you want it, baby, I'll settle for a backdoor love affair. So this one's a meld of 4 different tracks. So it's Backdoor Love Affair, written by Billy and Ham. Then they go into Mellow Down Easy, Willie Dixon track.
Yep.
Back to Backdoor Love Affair, and then they close it out with Long Distance Boogie by John Lee Hooker. This thing's just under 10 minutes, so this has got some length to it. But I will admit, I don't love it. Because On repeated listens, it just keeps losing momentum. Like it kind of loses me. You know, it starts off strong and then it goes away. And then it comes in strong and then it goes away again. What do you think?
I agree. It probably the last track I would listen to on this album if I was putting it in my own order.
I agree.
But if you're downstairs having some wine and you're listening to it on vinyl, it's sort of the experience that you're in to try to spin a positive on it. But I think to represent the band as, a live entity in 1974, it does a great job because it's showing you how they didn't just do a studio version, right? They came out and they just played like they do, which sort of ends up doing what Billy does now, where it's not always the same solos. He just plays whatever he wants and you're there to enjoy the show. But I was referencing earlier how there's certain breaks in it and certain shots that they're all hitting as a band. And I was trying to figure out how they're cueing it or where it comes, but it must just be from years of them touring and knowing where they're going to go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's really organic if you're going to say anything about that track. But to listen to it for a song, to sit there driving around, I'd be like, no, the next tune.
Not a great car song, but you're right. It's more of a vibe. It's more of a vibey thing. They could have chopped out 2 or 3 minutes, would have been made it better. Or more crowd. You're right. It's my least favorite on the album. If I have to pick a least favorite, I mean, I like them all on some level.
Oh, baby, 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 don't you wanna make me? Give you loving in the daytime. My charm of you can take care of it too. Baby, 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 don't you wanna make me? Baby, 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 don't you wanna make me? Give you loving in the daytime. I like a chicken, take it to.
Okay, man, they bounce back, and they bounce back hard. What in the world can a nasty dog do but try to get next to you? Track number 4 is Nasty Dogs and Funky Kings, written by Billy. Now we're talking. This is one of my faves on the album. This is that patented ZZ groove. It's fucking badass.
Right? Lead guitar and bass dueling.
Yep.
How do you keep that tight? Well, you got to be a good band, and that's a testament to them touring constantly, right? That's a driving tune. You throw that on, and from the instant after that intro, you're like, oh, here we go. Sit back, maybe shift into third and roll the window down.
Why am I driving so fast? This is the type of song that kind of sums up the band in a way at that time. I mean, it's the riff, the solos, a bit of blues, a bit of country. It's awesome. I think it's fantastic.
And another Billy voice.
Yes. Another take. Yeah, another tone. Yep.
He's not screaming. He's not down low. He's somewhere in the middle, keeping the song kind of even keel.
Well, didn't he do that through their whole career? Like you take a track like, not to rabbit hole this shit, but, Maniac Mechanic or Heaven, Hell, or Houston. There's some odd deliveries, and it's so cool. It's always cool.
That's what keeps you guessing and keeping you listening to the next tune, right?
Absolutely, Ben.
Well, don't laugh 'cause it ain't funny. Look how it happened to me. It could happen to you. You could be a fool too, and it leave you in misery. I guess there's nothing more a monkey can do but try to get next to you.
Okay, man, let's keep going. Track number 5, Blue Jean Blues, another Gibbons number. I love the lyrics, man. I done ran into my baby. I finally found my old blue jean. Well, I could tell that they was mine from the oil and the gasoline. Awesome.
Another car reference.
Yeah, tons of car stuff, eh? Yeah.
Affiliation with hot rods and that kind of stuff. The thing I noticed with this in headphoning was it's like the guitar is right in the room with you. It's akin to listening to Johnny Winter live.
Oh, good one.
It sounds like the guitar is sitting right beside you. And then when you start singing, the reverb that they put on it makes it sound like it's just in that room. You don't have that ambient. It's like a quick slapback. So it gives it real life.
It's got an intimate feel, hey? It's slow and tasty. It's a fucking dialer. Like, it's really strong.
Yeah, it's a cigar and scotch tune.
Exactly, yeah. Man, is it laid back. I mean, again, it's the space between the notes, too, on a track like this, right? It just simmers, It's so good.
And how they keep that smooth roll through the tempo. You don't ever feel like you have to go faster. It just sort of glides through it.
Right. And you're happy it just does that. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I mean, they're not reinventing the wheel, but in ZZ Top's hands, this is a cut above your regular blues track. Like, it's fucking awesome.
I done ran into my baby. I finally found my old blue jean. I could tell that day was mine from the oil and the gasoline.
Track number 6. Everybody knows it's hard to leave, and everybody knows it was down at the Balinese. This is a Dusty Hill track. It's okay, but compared to the two previous ones, it's not super strong. It's all right.
It sort of starts and ends, and you go, oh, another tune. Because it's really compact, it's sort of like a verse, chorus, verse, solo, verse out kind of thing. It's a good song. I don't skip it, but it's one that you're like, oh, yeah, well, that is ZZ Top. Cool.
Yeah, it's Dusty on vocals again. It's all right. It's just not a standout.
Right, right.
That's all.
Just another standard tune, but is it filler? I don't think so. It's a good song, just not Tush, right?
Everybody knows it was hard to leave. Everybody knows it was down at the Balinese.
Okay, let's keep going. Track number 7, Mexican Blackbird. Another Billy Gibbons number. Like, this one's, it's a bit of a goofy throwaway type track, but I like the sense of humor in it. Like, most of their albums have an oddball track like this on it, whether it's Chic or Snappy Khaki or fucking Maniac Mechanic, like I mentioned already, or Heaven, Hell, or Houston. It's a bit of a novelty song, and I hate to say it, but it's got just a tinge of racism in it.
And with that, I mean, look at the times, 1974.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the reason I'm saying that is the lyrics. They all call her puta, which is Spanish for prostitute, apparently.
Right.
Because no one knows her name. She works the cantina dancing and a-lovin's her trade. Her mama was Mezcan, and her daddy was the Ace of Spades. So it's pretty racy for ZZ Top, but you're right. You got to put it in the time and on the curve, for sure.
It just sits just above the medley for me.
I don't love it.
I don't hate it, but it's not my strong tune.
But it taught me what puta means. I had no idea. Glass half full. I didn't know that. Not that I'm working it into my regular vernacular.
She's hot as a pepper, but smooth as a Mexican brew. So head for the border and put in an order or two. The Mexican Blackbird will be there waiting for you. Oh, one more time.
Okay, man, you talk about bouncing back. Hello. From coast to coast and line to line in every county there, talking about the Outlaw X. He's cutting through the air. Heard It on the X is track number 8. Billy Gibbons and Dusty Hill combining on this one. The fun fact I have here, written about the influence of a Mexican radio station located in El Paso, Texas, but the transmitter was across the border in Juarez, Mexico. So apparently that allowed it. They put 150,000 watts of power from 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. Mountain Time, so it could be heard in like 44 states and parts of Canada. And even though it wasn't released as a single, it received some heavy rotation on classic rock radio. This is one of my favorite ZZ Top songs of all time. It's my favorite on the album by far. It fucking rocks. I love it.
I think they pulled it off where they just wanted to shift into high gear and take no prisoners. Do you know what I mean? And seeing back in the time where they could play it and it would reach all of America and parts of Canada.
Yeah.
They maybe took advantage of that and pushed that one towards radio so that it could be on the X. But hearing that and hearing the influence from those times, we don't remember, like today people won't remember KNAC, where we used to listen to that, or listen to Spokane radio on our cable.
Yes, I do remember that. Good one.
Where it's all rock all the time, you know. You couldn't get that in Calgary. You know, you get the old AM radio with your bubblegum pop of the time, but you didn't hear Scorpions and AC/DC and stuff like that. So that's probably their KNSC down there for the early 70s, right?
Totally, man. Yeah, I mean, cable radio, you'd hook the coax up. Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Fuck, I forgot about that. I fucking love that shuffle beat from Frank, man. It's just a killer riff. Like, what a groove. It's so catchy.
He plays so subtly. It's akin to Phil Rudd, where you don't realize how important Phil Rudd is to AC/DC until you put another guy in there.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody say once that Brian Johnson is single entendre compared to Bon Scott. Well, I sort of feel the same way with Phil Rudd, and then you bring it back to Beard, where it's so subtle, but some of those rhythms that he's putting in is what's driving the guitar and the bass to lay back in it and let the drums drive what the rhythm is. You know, he's in control of most of this tune, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Another thing I love about this one, Andy, is that back and forth vocal. Like Billy sings a line and then Dusty sings a line, and it really works. Again, they complement each other so well. Two distinct tones and deliveries. But Dusty's vocals got, you know, it's more raspy and a bit more aggressive. But man, it works.
Great for me to perform with my band because I get to have a breath.
Right, you get a little break for a few seconds. Yeah.
Right.
Hey man, I like this song so much, I even like the hand claps.
Right? They're probably real hand claps too.
Oh, guaranteed, man. Guaranteed. The only downside of this song is it's too fucking short again. It's just over 2 minutes. Stretch this shit out. Come on.
Wasn't that indicative of a lot of the tunes back then, though, where they're like 2:30, 2:20, and you're like, we just got started. But we've been conditioned these days to hear 3, 4 minute, 5 minute songs.
Well, I think that has to do with vinyl too. The sound quality goes down if you have it too long, but I just like it so much I wanted it to be a little longer.
We can all thank Dr. B who stepped across the line. With lots of watch it took control, the first one of its kind. So listen to your radio almost each and every night. Cause if you don't, it's sure you won't get the feeling right. Anywhere y'all, everywhere y'all. I heard it on the X.
Okay, man, track number 9, last but not least, the hit. I said, Lord, take me downtown. I'm just looking for some Tush. It's Tush, of course, written by Dusty Hill. Fun fact on this one, the only single released from the album peaks at number 20 on the Billboard Top 100, making it the band's first top 40 single in the U.S. Tell me about Tush, Andy.
I was reading that tush is Southern slang because they used to say tush hog. And that tush hog would mean like plush and, you know, nice and sort of elegant. And then they started realizing there's double meaning because they were going to change it when George Bush, I think, was running for president. They were going to play it. So they were going to change it to Bush. And then they decided they're not going to do that.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The meaning came from not from what we would obviously think in terms of the reference. Because they had the double entendre, they ran with it. It came, I think, from them doing it in a sound check or something like that. And I think it was the lighting guy that did one of these because he's hearing them play it, like, keep going, keep going. And next thing you know, they sort of worked in some lyrics and it came really organically. And they said they wrote the song in like 3 minutes.
Oh, man, isn't that the way? Some of the iconic tracks happen that quick, yeah.
How many artists have you heard say that? You know, I sat down and I wrote the song.
Right. Came pouring out of me. I mean, what a riff. It's epic. It's overplayed for a reason. I don't get tired of it. I can listen to it over and over, no problem.
And the slide is so gritty. Because he's playing in standard tuning, there's, you know, obviously limitations to being able to slide around and play just easy chords. So you're actually having to play the notes as if you would finger them as you're playing a lead. And Billy is like lightning all over there and crisp. It's a challenge for me to get close to that. And every now and then I hit it, and then you look around to see if anybody's watching you to acknowledge the fact that you got it. the 1 out of 70 times.
Anybody notice that? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're on their phone and they look up and they go, no, it's good. It's good. You're doing good.
You're just sweating. Yeah. Man, Dusty's vocal, man, he belts it out on this one. Just fucking nails it. Just awesome.
That's where you see Dusty, and Dusty's always leaning back and just, it's all into the mic, right? He's not holding back. Even when he was in his later years, there was a time when he was on tour and he was sitting on a road case because he had injured his leg.
Right.
And he was having some serious health problems at the time. And you see the live video of him outside, and it sounds like it's off the record.
Unreal, hey?
The guy was just vocal muscle.
Yeah, he really had a lot of balls to his voice. Absolutely. It's a ZZ Top staple, man. It always sounds great. So it's my second favorite track on the album, obviously. Again, though, just barely over 2 minutes, man. In, out. Leaves you wanting more, I guess, is the positive on that.
I've been bad, I've been good, Dallas, Texas, Hollywood. I ain't asking for much. I said, Lord, take me downtown. I'm just looking for some touch.
Okay, man. What? Any final thoughts? You want to sum up anything? Anything to add?
Suggested listenings. Jump out of this, and they reinvented themselves around the video era, and then came back around Dos Ex, the 3 X's, or La Futura. And La Futura now is my new favorite, and can't take it off. If you want to listen to some more ZZ Top and take you from that old school, go past the middle section, right, where it's overproduced in my opinion, and then get to the sound again. It's the 2000 sound of the old Tush era.
Right. Well put. Yeah. I gots to get paid. Yeah, it's a strong album.
And
man.
the guitars are so clear and strong, and the bass is guttural.
Yeah.
So the final word is take some time and experience some of the ZZ. There's a whole lot that you've been missing if you haven't. You got to take the time and give it some listen, because most don't, just because they've heard a specific song and that's that. But there's a different flavor on every album, almost every song.
Exactly. Yeah. For me, this one, just overall, I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. But if I had to nitpick shit, it feels a bit rushed. Like, it has a bit of that contractual obligation vibe to it. That's kind of what it feels like. It's a fun listen. I prefer the studio stuff for sure. Again, the live side is just too short. Like, I want a whole show, but again, nitpicky shit. I mean, really, there's only 5 super strong tracks on it for me. Like it's not as good as the first 2 albums, I don't think.
Right.
Like, I think it's a dip down from Tres Hombres and Rio Grande Mud.
It's still a great listen, cover to cover for me.
Totally. Well, it's those strong songs that bump it up. The
Right.
whole thing gets bumped, right? Even though it's a bit spotty. Again, it's fucking entertaining as hell. I mean, I'd give it a 7 out of 10 if I had to give it a score.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, man, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining me, Andy. That was fantastic. I knew it would be. It was awesome.
Ha 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 ha.
How. We'll have to do top 10 ZZ Top songs now. At some point, this has to happen.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, dude. You can count on it. And if you get a chance, check out Andy and his ZZ Top tribute band, Tres Hombres. They kill it, man. It's awesome. If you're in the Calgary area, check it out.
Good stuff. Thanks very much for having me.
You have a social media account for the band, and people can follow you on there, right?
Yeah, and TresHombres.ca.
There you go. Thanks to you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate you taking the time to hang with Andy, and let us know what you guys think of Fandango in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts and memories of this album too. You can find us on all the socials, wherever podcasts are broadcast. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, kids. Until next time, on behalf of Andy and I, keep rock alive. Have mercy. Peace out.
Elvis has left the building.